I expect an apology, and I expect it now.
Get on your knees and beg for forgiveness, Leo. The venomous command sliced through Charleston's pre-wedding gala. A single act of defiance was about to shatter a night of celebration. What happens when one man refuses to bow to cruelty, and a glittering event teeters on ruin? Will integrity clash with prejudice, or will a hidden truth emerge? If you're hooked, hit subscribe and let me know where you're listening from. You won't believe how this unfolds. Let's dive in. Leo Davies's polished shoes clicked on the cobblestone path to the Montgomery estate. Charleston's air, sweet with jasmine, for Leo tasted of obligation. At 38, his hands, adept from years of service, and his spirit, refined by quiet resilience, served those who rarely saw beyond his uniform. Yet, as he approached the grand mansion, Leo's gaze remained steady, a quiet resolve in his brown eyes. Inside the kitchen, the Montgomery household's heart, Leo moved with precision. He slid canapes into the oven, their aroma mingling with brewing Earl Grey. His crisp white jacket shielded him from a world where he'd once dreamed bigger. Born in a vibrant Charleston community, Leo tirelessly worked, sending every spare penny to his younger sister, Sarah, now a successful architect in Seattle. His grandmother's voice echoed, "We shall overcome someday." The old spiritual was Leo's anchor, a whisper of strength. 15 years ago, Leo, then 23, took this job for steady employment. The Montgomerys, with their shipping empire, were Charleston's untouchables, but the cost was steep. Arthur Montgomery, the patriarch, wielded authority like a precision instrument. "Faster, Leo." He'd snap, his voice laced with disdain, as if Leo's black skin marred his pristine surroundings. David, Arthur's son, mirrored his father's cold, entitled air. Tonight, David's engagement gala throbbed with energy. Leo's checklist mapped the intricate dance. His chest tightened, not from the work. He thrived on perfection, but from the Montgomerys. Arthur would observe, ready to pounce, and David would be no less critical. As Leo carried flutes to the ballroom, he passed a window. Staff arranged flowers, conversations mingling with a string quartet. It was a southern dream, but Leo knew better. Power came with a price, and people like him paid it. Arthur's veiled insults sharpened this week, coded jabs at the predominantly black staff. "Leo," Arthur snapped. "Those flutes should have been chilling an hour ago. Do you intend to ruin David's evening?" Leo's jaw tightened, but his voice remained calm. "They're ready, sir." Arthur's eyes narrowed. "See that you do." Leo arranged the flutes. He'd learned to internalize insults. But tonight, something felt different, a premonition. His grandmother's words resurfaced. "Don't let them break your spirit, child." He'd stayed for Sarah, for Bills, for hope. How much longer could he bend? Back in the kitchen, Ben, a young server, whispered, "They're wound tighter than a drum tonight, Mr. Leo. Watch yourself." Leo nodded, masking unease. Ben had the same wary eyes Leo had at that age. The quartet swelled, but to Leo, it sounded less like celebration and more like a dirge. Tonight would test him. Leo paused by the sink, his reflection faint. He saw a man who had persevered, supported his family, never forgotten his roots. The spiritual hummed, "And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave." Tonight, he'd face the Montgomerys, and something told him it wouldn't be like any other. Leo's hands trembled as he arranged silverware. The quartet had softened. Arthur's earlier slights left a cold knot, but Leo pushed it down. Arthur would sweep through, hunting flaws. "Keep your head up, Leo," his grandmother's voice echoed. He wouldn't falter. "Leo?" David's voice cut through. "These place cards are all wrong. I said script font, not serif. Fix it now." Leo approached. "They are in the script font you selected, Mr. David," he said, calm but firm. David's lips thinned. They look like serif to me. Do it again, and don't waste my time. I'm the host, not you. The words stung, but Leo nodded. I'll double-check with the calligrapher, sir, David added, and hurry. Father's already agitated about your slowness tonight. Leo's fingers tightened, but he kept his face neutral, escaping to the service corridor. He leaned against the cool plaster, thinking of Sarah. You don't have to stay there, she'd said. Come to Seattle, start your own business. But stability was crucial. He closed his eyes, humming his grandmother's spiritual, and before, I'd be a slave, a lifeline. Ben appeared. Mr. Leo, are you all right? Leo forced a smile. Just catching my breath. Ben lowered his voice. Mr. Montgomery's been barking at everyone. Especially you. Leo's smile faded. Keep your head down, Leo advised Ben. Back in the ballroom, Leo adjusted the cards. Arthur swept in. Leo, the bartenders say the aged whiskey isn't ready. What have you been doing? Leo replied, It's being decanted now, right on schedule. Arthur's eyes narrowed. It had better be. This gala is David's moment, and I won't have it ruined by incompetence. Leo held his gaze. It won't be, sir. Arthur huffed, muttering. Make sure it isn't, or you'll regret it. The threat hung like a storm cloud. As Leo worked, the quartet struck up a new tune. It sounded perfect to guests, but to Leo, it was a veneer for rising tension. Tonight, the gala would test his patience, strength, and soul. Leo's footsteps echoed in the private study. He carried an antique cigar box. The room glowed, but Leo's chest tightened. Arthur stood rigid. David lounged. Eleanor perched. Leo approached the desk, unfolding a velvet cloth. A sudden draft tugged it. The cloth slipped, fluttering to the floor. The room froze. Leo's breath caught. He bent to retrieve it, but Arthur's voice cut through. What have you done, Leo? David sneered. Eleanor's lips pursed. It's just the cloth, sir, Leo said, voice steady. I'll set it right now. Arthur stepped closer. Just the cloth. This is David's engagement gala, and you're dropping items like some clumsy child. Do you have any idea what's at stake here? Leo's grip tightened. I understand, sir. It won't happen again. David strode forward. That's not enough, Leo. You've disrespected my event. You need to apologize properly. The word properly hung heavy. Leo's stomach churned. They wanted humiliation. His grandmother's voice. And before I'd be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave. He wouldn't kneel. Leo straightened, cloth in hand, voice firm. If I caused any trouble, I'm sorry, and I'll fix it. I don't need to kneel to apologize. He held the cloth out. Arthur's laugh was brittle. Sorry without kneeling. You think you're above us? This is David's night, and you'll show respect the way we demand. David's voice rose. You're ruining everything, Leo. Kneel, or you're finished here. Leo's heart pounded. Kneeling wasn't about the cloth. It was about power, reducing him to less than human. His grandmother's voice sang louder. He couldn't bend. The room seemed to shrink. His eyes locked with Arthur's, then David's, his silence louder than any shout. Guests shifted. He stood, the cloth a symbol of a line he wouldn't cross. I've apologized. Leo said, low but unyielding. That's enough. Arthur's face flushed. David's eyes widened. The moment stretched taut. Leo braced for the storm, his spirit alight. Leo stood rooted in the study. Arthur's command to kneel pulsed, echoed by David's stare. Shadows danced. Leo's heart thundered, but his voice was clear. Arthur's face crimsoned. You dare defy me? In my house, you think you can dictate terms? Kneel, or you're out forever. David stepped beside his father. You're ruining my night, Leo. Kneel and beg forgiveness, or I'll make sure you never work in Charleston again. Eleanor shifted. Guests looked away. Leo's mind raced. This wasn't about a cloth. It was about breaking him because of his skin. Leo's fingers tightened. I've said I'm sorry, he repeated. I don't need to kneel to prove I mean it. Arthur laughed. Prove you mean it? You're nothing but a servant, and you'll do as you're told. He snatched the cloth, tossing it. Kneel or I'll have you thrown out. David's eyes blazed. You're finished, Leo. Leo's chest burned. His grandmother's voice sang louder. Oh, freedom over me. He wouldn't kneel. I'm a service professional, Leo said, voice rising. Not a slave. I won't kneel to apologize for something so small, or for who I am. The words echoed. Guests gasped. Leo stood tall, eyes never leaving Arthur's. Arthur's face twisted in fury. You're fired. He screamed. Get out of my house, you ungrateful. David lunged. Go, Leo. You've ruined everything. Leo saw a flicker of uncertainty in David's eyes. Leo turned, movements deliberate, walking toward the door. His hands shook, but his spine was iron. He felt Eleanor's stares, Arthur's ragged breaths, David's impotent rage. At the threshold, Ben stood, eyes wide. He nodded, a silent vow. Leo knew the spark he'd lit wouldn't die here. The quartet faltered. Leo stepped into the cool hallway. He'd lost his job, but kept himself. The spiritual hummed. He didn't know what came next, but he'd face it standing. Behind him, Arthur roared for security, but Leo kept walking, each step a rebellion, each breath a victory. Leo's footsteps echoed down the corridor, defiant against the screams. He'd walked away, but the cost was heavy. Yet, nearing the kitchen, a new sound rose. Ben burst out. Mr. Leo, he called fierce, you ain't alone in this. He pulled Leo into the kitchen. A dozen staff, cooks, servers, cleaners, mostly black, stood in a tight circle. Their whispers halted. Evelyn, a veteran cook, stepped forward. Ben told us. They wanted you to kneel for dropping a damn cloth. No, sir. That ain't right. Others nodded, anger flashing. They've treated us like dirt for years, Ben added. But what you did, Mr. Leo, you showed them we're not their dogs. Liam spoke up. Mr. Montgomery doesn't get to do that and expect us to keep smiling. Leo's throat tightened. He hadn't meant to ignite this, but their fury mirrored his own. I just did what I had to, he said softly. But y'all don't need to risk your jobs for me. Evelyn shook her head. This ain't just about you, Leo. It's about all of us. We're done bowing. The decision came swiftly. We stop, Evelyn declared, tossing her apron. No food, no service, no gala. Others murmured agreement. Ben grinned. Let's see how their fancy guests like an empty buffet. Within minutes, the kitchen emptied. Cooks abandoned pots, servers left trays, cleaners dropped mops. Leo followed them to the lawn where tents stood like hollow promises. The quartet stopped. Guests milled in confusion, laughter fading as they noticed the bare tables. Arthur stormed from the mansion, face a mask of fury. What is this? He shouted, spotting Evelyn and Ben. Get back to work. His voice cracked, but the staff stood firm. Ben stepped forward. We ain't working for folks who treat Mr. Leo like that, sir. You want your gala? You do it yourself. Leo felt Arthur's glare. You, Arthur spat. This is your doing, isn't it? You've poisoned them. Leo met his eyes, his grandmother's spiritual humming. I didn't ask for this, he said. They're standing up for what's right, same as me. Arthur's hands shook. A guest demanded answers, distracting him. Liam slipped beside Leo. "You gave us courage, Mr. Leo. Whatever happens, we're with you." Leo squeezed his hand. He hadn't planned this, but it was theirs. A fire was spreading. The lawn unraveled. Guests muttered. Staff gone. Gala teetering. Leo noticed Mr. Harrison, a prominent city council member, observing. Mr. Harrison gave a subtle nod. Leo remembered a rumor. Mr. Harrison's daughter was unjustly fired from a Montgomery enterprise. He knew the real storm was coming. Inside the mansion, Sarah, David's fiancée, paced the foyer. She cornered Ben. "What's going on?" Ben explained. "Mr. Leo refused to kneel after they humiliated him. We ain't working for folks who do that." Sarah's jaw tightened. She found David. "You and your father told Leo to kneel after he apologized. Do you hear how that sounds?" David stammered. "He disrespected me." "Father just wanted respect." Sarah's anger swelled. "Respect? You mean submission. You humiliated him because he's black, because you think you can. That's not respect. It's cruelty." David's eyes widened. "He's just a servant." Sarah's voice cracked. "He's a person. Your perfect night is falling apart because you couldn't treat one man with dignity." David's face crumpled. "Sarah, please, we can fix this." Sarah pulled away. "I can't marry into this, David. I won't start our life on a foundation of hate." She left him. Outside, Arthur lost his grip. Leo watched. He felt no guilt. The Montgomerys' prejudice toppled their house of cards. Ben approached. Miss Sarah called it off. Mr. David walked out. Leo's breath caught. The gala was dead. Guests streamed to the parking lot. A man muttered. "That servant caused all this." A friend of Sarah's snapped. "No, the Montgomerys did." They went too far. Leo's eyes met Liam's across the lawn, a silent nod of solidarity. The staff gathered. Arthur stormed toward Leo, but a guest's shout pulled him away. Leo stood firm. He'd lost his job, but gained a spark, a truth that couldn't be silenced. The sun dipped low. He'd never kneel again. By morning, Charleston buzzed. Leo sat in his apartment. His phone vibrated with messages. A viral post. Leo Davies refused to kneel. The Montgomerys' racism canceled their own gala. Thousands called him a hero. Evelyn arrived with greens. "You lit a fire, boy." "You gave us guts," Leo said. "I didn't mean to drag y'all into this." Evelyn laughed. "Lose what? Scraps? You showed us we're worth more." "Mr. Harrison contacted me. He says he has irrefutable evidence of the Montgomery shady business practices, including land deals that displaced dozens of black families years ago. He needs someone with your spine." Leo's eyes widened. A chance for justice. He thought of his own business. High-end events done right. That's the spirit. Evelyn gleamed. "You do that, and we'll be your first crew." The words wrapped around Leo. He wasn't alone. Arthur paced his mansion, social calendar empty. Charleston's elite had turned their backs. His power built on image crumbled. David stared at his unworn tuxedo. He'd sent an apology to Leo, no reply. "We were wrong," David whispered. Arthur burst in. "Stop moping, David. That servant ruined us." David's voice was raw. "We ruined ourselves, Father. Leo didn't make us act that way." Arthur's retort faltered. Back at Leo's, neighbors arrived. Evelyn remembered. Mrs. Gable, the old maid. She kept a journal, said it was in the old servants' quarters, in the fireplace, behind a loose brick. Leo contacted Mr. Harrison, sharing the tip. A team found a worn, leather-bound journal. Inside, meticulous entries detailed decades of the Montgomerys' illegal land acquisitions, predatory lending, and forced displacement of black families. The evidence was undeniable. Within days, headlines blared not just about the gala's collapse, but a wider scandal that threatened to dismantle the Montgomery Empire. Lawsuits were filed. Arthur Montgomery faced severe legal charges. David, stunned, disappeared. As night deepened, Leo stepped outside. Charleston's sky was a canvas of stars. He closed his eyes, the spiritual humming. Oh, freedom over me. He saw his grandmother's smile, heard his sister's pride, felt his community lifting him. The Montgomerys had tried to break him, but only forged him stronger. He'd lost a job but gained a calling, a community, a chance to build something new. He walked down the sidewalk, his steps light, his heart full. The mansion that had caged him was behind him, its power dimmed. Ahead lay freedom, a dream he'd make real. He'd never kneel again, and his song would echo far beyond Charleston's oaks. So Leo Davies walked into a future forged by courage, his defiance a beacon. The Montgomery's empire crumbled, but Leo's rose, a testament to dignity's power. Thank you, dear listeners, for joining this journey. Your support means the world, so please subscribe and like. Share your thoughts. Did Leo's triumph move you? Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay bold, stay true, and never kneel.